So R.F. Hartwell shares this, and R.F. Hartwell did not enjoy this article. R.F. Hartwell said, WTF, to associate this article. I kind of skimmed it really quick myself earlier this morning, and I share R.F. Hartwell's echo R.F. Hartwell's sentiment of WTF in regards to this article. This is from Mother Jones, by the way. They're supposed to be a progressive outlet. And here's something they share. This is an opinion piece. Bernie Sanders gets a D- for his climate plan. Well, okay. That's a different opinion from the norm, but why does this person feel that way? Let's get through it. This is by Kevin Drum. Bernie Sanders released his climate change plan today. This is from a couple days ago. Bernie being Bernie, it was naturally the biggest, leftiest, most socialist plan out there. And that was the good part. Okay. So right away, this guy, not a big Bernie Sanders fan. That much is apparent. All right. The bad part is that it's practically designed to fail. Okay, why? First of all you had to say about it so far, biggest, leftiest, most socialist plan out there. Those are just buzzwords. Those are just fear tactic words. No, you are saying that is a good thing, but not really much of substance in that first paragraph. And now you make a pretty hefty accusation that this is designed to fail. That's a pretty hefty claim. Where are the receipts? Well, let's continue with the article. If you're going to propose a massive $16 trillion plan, the first thing you should do is get as many people on board as possible. Instead, this is from the article, instead, Sanders practically revels in pissing off as many stakeholders as possible. He's going to tax the rich. He's going to hobble the fossil fuel industry. He's going to ban nuclear power. He's going to nationalize electric generation and turn it over to the federal government. Okay, so right there, here's the logic from this guy. You really shouldn't have a climate plan unless you're going to bring in the fossil fuel industry and everybody else who's benefiting off the status quo, which is destroying our climate. Your climate plan should include those people, not tick them off. If you have a climate plan and the fossil fuel industry says, sounds great, your climate plan sucks. So right away, this guy is basically void of any logic. Right away, he's saying, hey, you know what? Bernie Sanders is making the people mad who are benefiting from destroying the climate. That's a bad plan. No, it's not. That means the plan is actually combating climate change. You can't invite these predators. It's the same equivalency of, hey, you really need a healthcare plan that makes the insurance industry happy. No, you don't, because that's what's screwing people over. The insurance industry is why we don't have decent healthcare in this country. Just like the reason why we are so horrible when it comes to climate change is because of the fossil fuel industry and because of everybody who's profiting off the status quo when it comes to our climate. And this guy says, well, you don't want to tick them off. Why do you want to tick them off? And it's not like Bernie wrote the climate plan going, I'm going to make the fossil fuel industry angry. He wrote the climate plan with the intention to save the climate. And in the process of doing that, the people who are trying to destroy the climate are not going to be happy. All right, so that's the first gem of knowledge from this guy. Hey, you shouldn't have a climate plan unless it makes the people destroying the climate happy. All right, so I'm going to go with 0 for 1 right here. Oh, wait, no, 0 for 2. All right, so next paragraph. And then there are the absurd promises. He's going to create 20 million new union jobs. By the way, Bernie Sanders lays out how he's going to pay for everything in all of his plans. Just for the record, Bernie Sanders lays out how he's going to pay for everything in all of his plans. No, he's not. This is according to the article. No, he's not, unless he also creates 20 million new human beings. Let's go through this sentence one more time. He's going to create 20 million new union jobs. Now, the author of this piece says he's not going to do that. Why isn't he? No, he's not, unless he also creates 20 million new human beings. Okay, so we can't have 20 million new union jobs because we would need 20 million new human beings. Did you guys know we have no issues with employment in this country? Did you guys know that? I guess that's why you're all watching this, because you are so freaking employed and have so much money that you're just like, hey, my boss called me and he said, Ron, we have so many employees here, but everyone has a job and everyone's happy. You can just take the day off and you're getting paid. That's why I'm here. There's no problem with jobs in this country. We have 0% unemployment, according to this dude in this article. We can't have 20 million new jobs because we need 20 million new people for that. Because everybody has a job and everybody's satisfied and there's no issues. There's no bankruptcies because of medical bills. That doesn't happen in this country. We're fine. We're fine. That guy wrote that. By the way, a grown adult who was published by an outlet, a well-funded outlet, decided to write that. That's his rationale there. We're not going to have these jobs. Why not? Because we would need people to fill them. We need 20 million new people for 20 million new jobs. Because there's nobody without a job in the United States, apparently, according to this guy. Wow. I don't know what bubble he's living in, but I guarantee you it's really freaking small. Okay, so there's that logic. And then there's the spending, $2 trillion to weatherize homes. This is back to the article. Oh, wait, here, let me put it. Sorry about that. $2 trillion to weatherize homes, another $2 trillion to allow people to trade in their old gas burners for electric vehicles, $500 billion to replace school buses, $1 trillion for public transit, high-speed rail. I'm open to expert opinion on this, but everything I know about climate change tells me that this is an enormous amount to spend on things that will have modest impacts. So having solar panels on every home is a modest impact. Replacing school buses, eliminating fossil fuels by 2030, that's a modest impact. Now, I agree. There's more to be done, by the way. We need to completely redo the way we go about food in this country. We need to start eating local. We need to invest in more farming and have that feed people locally to cut back on greenhouse emissions. We need to end factory farming, pretty much. We need to end it. Not pretty much. We need to end it. It's not only morally repulsive, but it's a huge driving force, pun intended, in climate catastrophe. But all these things that you named, these aren't minimal things. These are big things. These are very big things. Having all homes being energy sufficient, nationalizing electricity, getting rid of school buses, having more sustainable transportation solutions that are more environmentally sound. And Bernie lays out how he's going to pay for everything. So, okay, so let's review the logic of this guy. Well, let's see, first of all, are there any other paragraphs here? But at least Sanders, all right, so here we go. But at least Sanders will also dedicate huge amounts to R&D, right? This is according to the article. He says right at the top that he'll make massive investments in new research, but down in the details, R&D appears to get $800 billion, only a little more than he'd spend on school buses. This is a wild mismatch. Sanders appears to be more interested in creating a huge federal jobs program than he is in seriously taking on climate change. Maybe that's because we first need to act on the research we already have. Maybe his plan invests a lot in action because we desperately need action. And maybe over time there does need to be more funds given to R&D. I'll give you that. Sure. There should be a lot of funding for research and development. I think $800 billion is a pretty fair amount of money. But maybe this invests so heavily in action because we need to act now. So maybe the heavy emphasis on action isn't because Bernie Sanders doesn't want to invest in R&D, and it isn't because Bernie Sanders just wants to look good with the jobs program. Maybe it's because we needed to act yesterday, so we're trying to play catch up now because action is desperately needed. Maybe that's why. All right, now here's the postscript. Oh, wait, no, here's the end. The Sanders plan to me looks like the worst kind of kitchen sink proposal. Well, and your reasons for that are really sound. You have great reasons for it. A plan that avoids and he put plans in quotes, so you know that's very clever. That avoids making any hard choices simply saying that we'll do everything. Call me cranky. That's one thing to call you. But I'm tired of this stuff. It's a box-checking exercise designed to appeal to every possible lefty constituency rather than something that has even the remotest chance of building the public support needed to get passed through Congress. Postscript, it's probably worth noting that I haven't looked at the climate plans from other candidates. So I'm not comparing Sanders to anyone else. For all I know, all the other plans are just as bad. Well, based on this article, I can't wait to hear what you have to say about the other ones, because I'm sure it's going to be insightful. So this guy, this person who is published in Mother Jones, is, I guess, a professional writer. The Kevin Drum, political blogger. I've never heard of him till now. Here is why Sanders gets a D-. Here's why Sanders earned a D- grade. First of all, he doesn't make the fossil fuel industry happy. So that's bad, according to this guy. We don't need jobs. He promises 20 million new jobs. We can't have that unless we have 20 million new people, according to this guy. So that's why so again, let's review the reasons. Doesn't make the fossil fuel industry happy, promises jobs, and apparently we don't need any jobs in this country. We're doing fine. But then at the end, they say that the only reason Sanders is doing this is to look good with a jobs plan. The article also says that. So why is Sanders trying to score political points with a jobs plan when apparently we don't need any jobs? Seems a bit contradictory right there in this several paragraph article. Sanders is just trying to look good with the jobs plan, but we don't need any jobs. Makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. All right. So, and he doesn't invest enough in R&D. He focuses too much on action for a catastrophic issue we needed to act on yesterday. Okay, what else were some of the... and apparently getting rid of fossil fuels and adapting all of our homes for climate change, those are just modest impacts. Those are just modest things. They're barely going to make a difference. They're barely going to make a difference. So let's go through this guy. Sanders gets a D- for his climate plan because it doesn't make the fossil fuel industry happy. It promises us jobs, but we don't need jobs. It doesn't invest enough in R&D because it focuses too much on action, and I guess action is not that big of a deal. Making all of our homes prep for solar isn't going to have any impact whatsoever, or minimal impact, according to this article. And that is why this guy gave Bernie Sanders' climate plan a D-. This guy, Kevin Drum, and this was published in Mother Jones. Mother Jones published this. They're supposed to be a lefty outlet. They're supposed to be environmentally sound. By the way, this person doesn't give any concrete data for any of their claims. In fact, even in a paragraph close to the end, pretty much just says, I'm tired of this stuff. Bernie Sanders is trying to score political points by having a jobs bill, although apparently we don't need jobs. He should instead write a climate plan. And it focuses on too much action. They're doing too many things. They should just focus on one thing. Just have a bill that makes the fossil fuel industry happy, that says, hey, we're only going to have half the people on gasoline-powered cars by 2075. Do that instead. Kevin Drum, Bernie Sanders' bad climate plan doesn't make the fossil fuel industry happy. Promises jobs. We don't need jobs, apparently. Focuses too much on action because who needs action? And by the way, making everybody's home ready to be more energy efficient, nationalizing electricity. And so Bernie Sanders' plan is too ambitious, yet not ambitious enough. We're investing money in things that have minimal impact, but we're doing too many things. Wow. This article got published. This is a published article in Mother Jones because they're so in bed with the Democratic establishment. This article would get a D-. You want to talk about grades? This article would get a D- in an 8th grade journalism class. This guy has no data backing any of this stuff up. He says things will make a minimal impact without explaining how. He makes bogus claims like, in order to have 20 million new jobs, we need 20 million new people. Are you kidding me? You really think there's no employment issues in the United States? And then he makes a claim about R&D without instead addressing how we need to take action desperately. This article will get a failing grade in an 8th grade journalism class. I'm not even kidding. Meanwhile, this guy is giving Bernie Sanders' climate plan a D- because it's ambitious enough, yet it's too ambitious, yet it'll have minimal impact. It doesn't make the fossil fuel industry happy. Doesn't focus enough on R&D because it's focusing on action instead. And also, it's trying to just score political points for a job bill, but we don't really need jobs. We're fine with jobs. Nobody needs a job in the United States, according to this article. This was published by Mother Jones because they want to support the Democratic establishment that much, so much, that any smear piece on Bernie, I guess they're fine with. Because this is just clickbait. This is just pure clickbait. Oh, somebody doesn't like Bernie Sanders' climate plan, and it's coming from Mother Jones. Let's click this. And it's anti-Bernie. That's another point too. Do you see how terrible this article is? Like, there are no claims worth anything in this article, and Mother Jones published it. Unbelievable. Lucy's concerned. She's like, climate change is serious. What are they doing? Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You can tweet me an article at Ron Placone. We'll go through it together and